Hello my lovelies and welcome back to Sundering Tarot. If you're new here, hi, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. This is your daily tarot reading for the 22nd day of October 2023. We'll be using the Tarot of Abyss again for today's daily tarot reading. I think this is like the 6th day or so my ancestors have called for this deck. I don't know about you, but I'm quite enjoying it. So let's see what else they could tell us. Alright, my lovelies, I am back, and holy cow, there is a crap ton of cards on the table. We have 12 major arcanas, surprisingly no aces, but 12 major arcanas, and boy do we have synchronicities. There's a lot of cards on here. I apologize if I've missed any. Help me look for them as we go through, but I noticed 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 4, 4, 4, 555 and 222. There could be more than that. Apologies if I missed any. Simply because we have so many cards. Yeah. But let's get into the best part of your day. We have the Strength card, which is a fabulous energy to start out on. We have the Sun, the Page of Cups, the Knight of Swords in the reverse, the Five of Cups, and the Four of Cups. Okay. So anything that we can be emotionally engaged with, that is our powerhouse of the day. That is where we are empowered, is when we are emotionally engaged. We slow down on the naysaying, the negative, the humdrum. It's like we're turning away from things we lack. And instead we're feeding our happy. Yes, feeding our happy. Why? Because we're emotionally engaged, and that gives us a strong sense of self. So I would say that's where we have balance for the day. Be interesting to see what else comes out in all this, but that's what I'm getting so far. Let's get into the worst part of your day. We have the Ten of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles reverse, the Eight of Pentacles reverse, and the Page of Pentacles reverse. Okay. Oh, that's a frustrating energy to have. Okay. Have you ever had one of those moments where you really want something, you desire something, but no matter what you do, it's like you have 2 plus 2 and all of a sudden you got -5. So instead of 2 plus 2 equals 4, you have 2 plus 2 equals -5. It's like everything doesn't jive right, no matter how hard you try. You desire everything to work out, and somehow everything that would make logical sense and should automatically make logical sense, at the end somehow it doesn't compute right. Something's gone wrong somewhere, and it's horribly wrong, and you know it. Like I said, it's a very frustrating energy to have. I would say probably a little bit of maybe even interference or self-sabotaging energy is what we're dealing with based on that. We're going to have to get into the obstacle and how to get over the obstacle. See what comes up there. Hopefully we can make, heads or tails of that energy. Okay, I'm going to scoot this over and down a little bit. There's so many cards, and I apologize. I'm going to have to stack these like really tight against each other to probably fit this all on the table. We have the Chariot, Temperance, the Six of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Swords in the reverse, the Two of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles reverse, the World, the Eight of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Emperor, the Moon, the Empress. That's interesting. The King of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Two of Cups in the reverse, the Magician in the reverse. Self-sabotage energy. The High Priestess in the reverse, the Ten of Swords in the reverse, the Hierophant, the Queen of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Seven of Cups in the reverse, King of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of Wands, and we end on the Tower. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, you might be holding on to the reins a little bit too much. And sad to say, what you think about, you bring about. You might actually unintentionally be sabotaging yourself without realizing it. So if we take our strength of will and balance out our control with our emotional engagement, we'll have more success. If we leave behind the pessimistic attitude, that sense of lack that's probably sabotaging us, if we leave that behind, we balance out more of where our energy goes. So we have more control over what we put in and what we get out if we loosen the reins a little bit. And we're not so rigid. And this is going to be especially hard for fixed signs. I'm a Scorpio, I'm a fixed sign, so I totally get how this might be an issue. Because anything we're wanting to complete, to finish, we kind of have to get the message through our head that when we persist and we balance the divine masculine and the divine feminine, so we're fully emotionally engaged, we're open and engaged, but we're being active through the steps without letting our control take front and center. We enter a kind of a sweet spot. We enter a comfort spot where we flow with the energy. And if we hold on to that, all that lack mentality, all that self-sabotaging energy, all the pessimism kind of falls away. And that seems to be what is a problem. We might be holding on the reins too much, trying to control the situation. And that's where I was getting the 2 + 2 = -5 energy. We're controlling things too much. We're trying to mitigate the energy in a way that it's hampering us. We're probably getting in our own way. Self-sabotage. We're severing the connection for co-creation. And of course that just means we're, sitting in that energy and it keeps repeating, hence the frustration. 2 + 2 = -5. But once we realize that, once we learn that that's what's going on, we're able to mitigate that. Because we're being more fully engaged with our emotions. We're getting more in touch with the situation and not in a way that is controlling. Instead, we're able to feel our way through it for a better outcome. We'll have a better way to interact with the circumstances in our environment, simply because all the false narratives and illusions fall away. We're cutting through the bullshit here, people. We're learning to see where we've gotten in our own way, where the self-sabotaging energy is. All that falseness, all that narrative falls away. We're cutting it out. And what's left is us being able to create in a controlled manner, yes, but not so tightly wound that we're smothering our fire. We're not, sabotaging ourselves. We're not smothering ourselves to death. And it's because we finally have the right idea. A little control is good. A lot of control can be an issue because then we unintentionally exert limits. We project outcomes. Or we shut down our emotions. This lovely, beautiful Empress energy here. We shut down our emotions. We stop nurturing it. All because we've led with a controlled desire of a response. And when we don't get it, we get upset. So we lash out. Yeah. As much as being fully emotionally engaged is empowering for today, at the same time, the rest of our emotions can be rather heightened, that we might take it to a negative aspect. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to use our control and then force it onto a situation, or even worse, another person. We want to flow in the energy. We want to communicate well. We want to be articulate. We want to be able to nurture ourselves and others, but feel safe and secure enough to move forward with the energy and not steamroll ourselves, not roadblock ourselves. That's interesting. So yeah, this is the Hierophant. There is a lesson to be learned in this. And it's very much about balance. Our Temperance card here. We have to utilize masculine energy and feminine energy in equal measure. So loosen the reins a little bit. Let go. Enjoy yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't try to control everything all the time. You have to leave a little bit more room for new answers, new creativity. Because if you don't leave that, you're just going to smother the fire. And that's not good, especially if you're dealing with like creative projects where you need to have this lovely Empress energy. You have to be nurturing. You have to be creative. Well, if you're controlling too much of the narrative, then all that creative energy, it's like you dumped a bucket of water on it. Or you kicked sand over it. Instead of it allowing to breathe and flow freely, you've just smothered the crap out of it, and there's nothing it can possibly do now. And that's kind of where the mindset and the control issue has come into play. You're now getting in your own way. You're stifling your capabilities, your potentials, when you would otherwise be free to act. So you kind of have to realize it's okay to be emotionally engaged. It's okay to be proactive, but you have to do that with some semblance of balance. You don't want to burn yourself out, but you still want to be able to move and side shift to get where you want, but at the same time have fun and see what new things your intuition and everything crops up along the way. This reminds me of a card from my Lantern Oracle. If you've never seen that deck, I do believe there is a flip through on my channel. If you go to my playlists that are marked Oracle deck flip throughs, the card that comes to mind is a card called Wisdom in Play. In other words, there's knowledge to be gained when we engage in our emotions, when we nurture our inner child. We can actually lead with that information, with that aspect of ourselves, and gain knowledge and gain purpose, gain value by doing that. Why? Is because our subconscious, our inner child, our intuition, our gut feeling knows things that we don't, especially if we're ignoring it or not paying attention. Things crop up when we play, when we're fully emotionally engaged, when we enter that flow state. So pay attention to that. That is interesting. Very interesting for the day. Okay, I'm done with the cards, but we still have to go through your astrology. And if I remember right, there's a lot of different planet placements for the day. Probably hence why I have one of my Cosmo tapestries that they wanted for today. The moon enters Aquarius, so being different is easier, doing things differently. Focus on stepping outside of your comfort zone. Embrace the unconventional. See where it would help. Comfort zone, we have the King of Cups right here. And I mentioned entering a flow state, but it doesn't necessarily have to be unconventional in this particular reading from the looks of it. Mercury enters Scorpio. Mental energy can be intense, especially over the next coming weeks. You can throw yourself into anything that interests you. Try to avoid being too controlling. Yes, right there. Right there. Loosen the reins a little bit. It's all over this reading. Loosen the reins a little bit. You can throw yourself into stuff and be direct, have that masculine energy going, which is, wands and swords energy. But at the same time, you have to pair that with the feminine, which is our pentacles and our cups. You have to be emotionally engaged. Balance, the temperance card, as I showed you earlier. Venus and Virgo trines Jupiter and Taurus. Easier to get along with others. You may benefit from someone in your life. Enjoy times with others, and you may want to bring in new people. That's that. Being emotionally engaged is a powerhouse of the day. Yes, being emotionally engaged. That's with yourself, with your situation, with your environment, with other people. Mercury in Scorpio, trine Saturn in Pisces. Controlling mental energy can be easier. You can channel your mental energy into something productive. You can make long-term plans. Yes, but that only works if you pair it with your divine feminine energy. Those have to be balanced out. You have to loosen the reins a little bit. You can't overdo it. A little bit of control is good. Hard control is not. And once again, we have a whole bunch of synchronicities. I don't know if you guys noticed any more, but we have 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 2, 2, 2. And I did add up all your cards, which was a lot. Everything adds up to 262, which ultimately reduces to 1, which is the number of the pioneer or the magician. Yes, you need to enter a flow state. You have to balance the divine masculine with the divine feminine to have that co-creation energy going. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with what we have here in the worst part of your day, where 2 plus 2 equals -5. You got to pull yourself out of that energy. All right, my lovelies. I hope this resonated for you, or at least was beneficial in some way. And if it was, by all means, give me a big thumbs up. Feel free to shout at me in the comment section and down below. Feel free to share the video anywhere online, regardless of platform. Truly helps the channel grow. And thank you so much to those that do. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.